Souls-like games are easy. For now. See, for the past two videos, I've been trying to prove that Souls-like games are easy, and I was quite successful.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell.
But it's currently too early to say so, because I still have two more games to play to solidify my claim, which is what I'm doing in this video, where I will be playing the second game of the series, Ashen. Now, this isn't the hardest Souls-like game ever, but it's considered to be pretty tough, and I will attest, it was very tough. I had much less health than I was used to, and the enemies themselves dealt much more damage, which means I died a lot. Something people don't really talk about much with Souls-like games is this, the loading screen. It takes about 10 to 15 hours to load, and if you die a lot, you see the screen way more and for a lot longer, which frustrated me way more than the actual enemies themselves. And these enemies paid full homage to the original Souls games in the terms of surprise attacks and jumping. I got surprise attacked and backstabbed so many times while playing this game. And the jumping in this game is worse than Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, for example, this one time I decided to run past all the enemies instead of fight them, but they then all stacked up against me and I got torn apart. And the enemies also had higher health, and I didn't really deal a lot of damage myself, so it would take a million hits to take them on. And I couldn't employ the strategy of attack spamming, which I was doing up until now, because of the stamina system, which wouldn't allow me to spam attacks and dodge infinitely. So I had to use my brain and monitor the stamina system to be able to dodge and then deliver an attack. Then I had to also be careful not to get attacked by a different enemy while I was doing this. So yes, the combat is hard. But luckily, we had Jokel, my AI partner in this game, who was really reliable and helpful, but not so much that the game became too easy. It was the perfect balance. Now let's talk about the heart and souls of Souls-like games. The bosses. I was originally just gonna talk about one of the cool bosses I faced, but this one was too unique to leave out. This is Carl, and unlike your normal Souls-like boss that is big, menacing, chases you around and hits you with big scary attacks, Carl hides around the room in complete darkness, then suddenly attacks and runs away and repeats. It's like I'm the boss hunting down the player, which is something I haven't really seen in many other games. Anyways, the boss I want to talk about originally is Ganondorf. He summons his army of the undead and the battle begins. I decided to take care of all the little guys and let Jokel fight Ganon by himself, which backfired because we got cooked. And I came back with some cooler armor and I learned from my mistakes. So I used a different strat this time. Ignore the minions and focus on Garoran. Dodge his big strikes, and while he recovers, fight him. Which, as you can see here, was working quite well, but then Jokel died. And after this mistimed attack, I died too. But Jokel was fine and we decided to go back. And then with all the skills I learned and my current strategy, I successfully cooked this clip. Now, I think the bosses of this game were kinda easy. Side enemies gave me a much harder time, to be honest, but that still doesn't take away from this game. Of all the games so far, this one is probably my favorite. It's probably also the hardest one so far. Anyways, that's two of the three games, and so far I'm gonna say that Souls-like games are not easy. They are tough, 100%, but still not as hard as they are considered. But this opinion can change really fast with the third game of the series, which could possibly turn this entire challenge around. So if you're interested in that, then subscribe to the channel so you will know when that video comes out. And until then, you can watch this video on the screen if you like my content.